This podcast is brought to you by Rebecca Cassells of the Rising Dawn series. Do you like violence? Do you like smut? Are you tired of the stereotypical novels of werewolf romance out there and want something a little bit different? Then pick up Sparked Revolution, Book 1 in the Rising Dawn series by Rebecca Cassells. Available on Amazon, in Kindle and paperback. You too can become a sponsor of Stories, The True and the Fictional by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes.
My dearest robot. It started as a dream to create life using my art and method. And it finally happened. From the moment you opened your eyes, I knew you were special. And I knew once you'd taken your first steps, the world was yours. I watched as you mastered everything you put your mind to, my dearest robot. However, the art of human emotion conversation were still far beyond your grasp. Day after day, I held you in my arms as you said, "Creator, am I defective? Am I broken?" And day after day I said, "No, my dearest robot, you are perfect." But your logic centers could not understand. And so I tried to teach the skills of the artist, improvisation, and the method. But those skills were beyond your grasp. I was proud when you set upon your own journey to discover the art and method of improvisation. And I was proud of your first attempts. While robotic, they were still your own. Like any father, I came to aid when you called. For you are Gondor, and I am Rohan. And like the miracle that was your very birth, I watched as a spark of creativity came forth. However, no sapling can grow under the shade of the mighty tree. And so I returned to my hut upon the hill and watched your grand creations take shape. I am proud of you, my dearest robot, for you are perfect. Welcome, everyone, to Stories, the True and the Fictional. I am, of course, one of your hosts, Chris Park. I am, of course, I am thrilled to be joined by one of the guests here. It is an honor to have one of the great houses join us. I am talking, of course, the governor of Arrakis himself, Baron Nar Haig. Welcome, Sir Baron. Thank you for joining us. Tell me, how does the spice production go? I hear the Fremen are becoming unruly.
Well, yes, it's and by the way, Chris, you can call me Carl Barron. That's me.
Carl Barron.
So you can. It's really bad dad joke there. The spice trade they're getting very close, and Uncle Donald has got the silver box that I've instructed him to only open in the event if they get too close to the spices. And we know Uncle Donald has a very, very heavy trigger finger. Every morning he starts with day with a text message saying, "Can I push it? Can I push it? Can I push it?" And I said, "No, Donald, now is not the time, but
now,
soon."
There are talks that the best way to deal with the Fremen would be to build a great wall and make the Fremen pay for it. Do you believe that this is the best approach to dealing with the Fremen problem?
Look, I suggested to just drop a bomb and wipe them all out in about 30 seconds, but no, we've got to listen to the board. And, they did suggest a more peaceful option of building a wall. So, yes, we are going with that option first. If that fails, I'll tell Donald he can push the red button.
Fair enough. Well, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on pop culture and the news as it was. I'm, of course, joined by the longtime guest
Tom guest.
and my dearest robot, Jamie Bryden. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm a robot. Now, what's my self-destruct code? Actually, don't say that.
Don't say, the code is something the code is something you'll never utter in your entire life. The Marvels was a pretty good film. Like something you'll never say.
Waiter, get me lasagna. Oh, no.
How are you going?
I'm good. I'm going very well. Very, very well. Lots happening in my world.
Apart from being my greatest creation, my dearest robot, I hear that you're also now the male Taylor Swift in terms of relationships. Is that an accurate assessment?
No, because she goes into relationships. I avoid them at all costs.
So the anti-Taylor. So here's a question.
I vet.
No. She gets sucked into relationships. You repel relationships. If we put you in a room together, would you guys start spinning around each other, creating fusion, creating endless energy for the earth to sustain?
If they were to meet and be in the same room, that's one of the 4 signs of the coming apocalypse.
I've heard the same thing.
No, so I don't repel. I attract, and then it's like a slingshot. You know, you gotta go.
Yeah. So like you'd start circling each other, floating in the space, spinning, creating perpetual motion, creating an energy source to feed all mankind.
So basically, it's basically like what would happen if you stuck a piece of buttered toast to the back of a cat and dropped it off a building.
The exact same concept.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So all the leftists out there that want an energy supply to be sustainable, we take my beloved robot J.A. Bryden, tie him to Taylor Swift, and watch as the magic happens as they start spinning, creating fusion, creating the power of the sun in the palm of my hands, as a certain doctor was fond of saying.
The power of the sun
in the palm of my hands. You know, it's a really interesting. It's retconning because it doesn't happen that way, but the idea is in that scene how Doc Ock automatically just goes good and gets control of the robots again is because that's when he comes back from Peter Parker's universe. So that's the moment. That's the exact moment he drops back. The chip is actually activated again, and then that's how he's able to, become the normal. Again, that's retconning it, but again, I like the. I like the idea.
If it works, then let it be.
It's like the idea that Doc didn't catch Marty the first time he jumped off the building. Yes. It's those things that you go like, that's somewhat believable. Now, speaking of somewhat believable, Ryan, you say X-Men 97's good.
Yes, I've been holding off for the same reason as we all have, because I don't want to be hurt. And based off, like as I said, the comments that were made a couple of weeks ago about what the X-Men movie universe is going to start with, focus on the female characters and diversity, which has always been a good thing.
Hey, Marvel's made like $17 at the cinema. So
yeah, exactly.
It works.
And you know what? I thought, well, maybe I'm going to check it out because it looks like we're not going to get any good X-Men on screen aside from Deadpool and Wolverine for a very long time.
Yep.
So I checked it out. I chucked the first episode on. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. Picks up literally where the season finished last time, which is good. No recap, which is bad because it's been a long time since I watched it. And
honestly, I can't remember what happened in the last season.
It picks up with the X-Men because apparently the last episode of the old season, Professor Xavier was killed by the Humans Against Mutant League or whatever.
Yep.
The guys who created the Sentinels, not Bolivar Trask, but he's offsider.
Yeah.
Literally picks up right from there. The X-Men are sort of working out. Scott and Jean is pregnant, and Scott and Jean are working out whether they want to still be part of the X-Men. Everyone else is still there. And then, just gets straight into it with, people from alternate dimensions, and then Mr. Sinister is looking to be the villain of this season, which is fine by me because I'm a massive Mr. Sinister fan, and Magneto's on the side of the X-Men, on the side of the mutants, I should say, which is where he always is. But at the moment, he's with the X-Men. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. The art and I'm going to say the art because it's not CGI, but the art is a hell of a lot better. Obviously they've done the upgrade because it's been a while since we've had some. But yeah, the storyline has kept me going. I'm up to episode 6. Generally watching 1 or 2 a night. So yeah, I'm actually really liking it. They haven't done it really pissed me off.
Here's one question that I have for you, Ryan. So modern X-Men is terrible, but the reason why they're terrible is because they forget they're X-Men and spend most of the time in some sort of relationship drama or going to some sort of prom or some sort of fancy dance event. What is this? I mean, again, don't get me wrong. I love a good romance story. Crimson Dawn is my absolute favorite. Like, again, is my favorite thing, and that's why Uncanny X-Men crushed me a little bit. Where Archangel gives up his life essence to save Psylocke. He gets a little bit nervous about he doesn't have long to live. Then she jumps off a building so he'd catch her, and then so she could tell him that it doesn't matter how long he has; they have it together. Then she goes, "Ooh, new guy, bye." Anyway, that's the side of the book. Actually, though, in the comics' defense, I stopped there, but apparently I read a line there actually is an arc just to fix that. They did go back and fix it where he goes back to the Four Horsemen, and then she actually comes back, and then they reunite, and she brings him back from the darkness. So they did sort of fix that whole thing. But
yes,
is there too much relationshipy drama in this one, or what's the good mix?
Not at all. There's no relationship drama at all. There's literally Gambit and Rogue, but they don't do PDAs, so no public display of.
Because she'd kill him. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's just Scott and Jean. They're married, they're about to have a baby, so it's no real romance. It's just.
What's the triangle like? Because is Wolverine still part of that triangle now, or has he given up because of the baby?
Well, yeah, he give you creepy uncle vibes, but that's okay.
Is he stroking the photo still?
No, there's no stroking of the photo yet. But no, honestly, you don't really get much time because something happens, and I don't want to ruin it. Something happens in the second episode where it throws everything into balance, so out of balance. Okay. So so you without spoiling anything, Mr. Sinister's behind it. He's controlling a few people that he shouldn't be controlling, and look, I'm really enjoying it. Without spoiling it for too many people because not a lot of people have watched it. I've only sort of mentioned it on a few of the comic book episodes for people to jump on and watch it. But honestly, I'm really enjoying it. It's better than. It's going to be better than most of the X-Men stuff we get from Marvel in the next few years.
All right, it sounds like it's worth picking up.
It is, and they've picked it up for another 2 seasons, which is good. It's the violence is not obviously it's not Invincible level violence, but it's not.
Ah, boo!
It's X-Men violence from the cartoon. They've sort of stepped it up a little bit. In terms of the fighting, and obviously when they're fighting Sentinels, doesn't matter, they can rip their heads off and all that because they're just robots.
The robots.
But yeah, it's look. I mean, we get to see Mastermind, the Master Mold. Sorry, the massive Sentinel who rules over all Sentinels. Just get to see him in action. As I said, Mr. Sinister, obviously is one of my favorite villains in the X-Men universe. We get to see him controlling things. There's a few other villains that I don't want to mention because they're a surprise. So I honestly, if you're an X-Men fan and you want a bit of good X-Men, the season's just wrapped up. So I believe it's all now available on Disney Plus. So as I said, I think there's 10 episodes. I'm up to 6 or 7. And I'm loving it. With animation, I generally will only watch 1 or 2 a night just so I don't get bored. But this time, this is kind of I want to watch another one. So
yes, I'm used to watching all my animation in a single bunch or group because I watch anime and because anime is not designed for American television, so there's no conclusion after 30 minutes. It's just basically one episode connects into the next episode, connects to the next episode, connects to the next episode, and so I have to watch it in a block or else I get mad.
That's why we lost contact with Chris for about 18 months because he had to watch all of One Piece.
Yeah, I had to watch
He was just gone.
That's not possible in 18 months, Jamie. That's only season 1.
No, he didn't sleep.
No, 18 months, and I got through 687 episodes.
And he did Ferris Bueller at work.
But honestly, I think as an X-Men fan, you guys would both enjoy it. It's obviously you know how Marvel are with their 10 episode seasons. So it's nothing like you're used to, Chris. But It's honestly it's something I can see you getting into and watching probably, if not the whole season, most of the season in a night.
Now, how does it compare to X-Men 2000? Because that was also a banger of a season.
Okay, I really liked X-Men Evolution and Wolverine and the X-Men, but they did
I
the
love Wolverine. Wolverine and X-Men was the jam. I love that one.
Well, the only issue with that is they did the whole, Jamie will be familiar with this, what they did with Spider-Man. We only got 2 seasons and that was it.
Yeah.
And they just gave up.
Yeah.
So look, I can't compare the two. One, because the animation styles are completely different. I really love the animation styles in Wolverine and the X-Men. It was more modern. It was more like the Ultimate Spider-Man one we watched, Jamie. That kind of action.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to compare it with those because those were on its own great series. But this season 1 of X-Men 97, in my opinion, I will give it a solid 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's not a waste of your time. The story is enough to keep you engaged. There's no wokeness, which I was expecting a shitload of wokeness. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but that's what I am concerned about the future of that show, because the guy who was like mandating it's going to be like X-Men, he got fired once the series went live, and then someone else is going to make the next 2 seasons. So I'm a bit,
there you go.
I'm a little concerned.
Well, look, if we get one good season, I'm okay.
Okay.
Because I don't have to watch the next season if it's shit.
No. If it's shit, I won't watch it, obviously.
But it's given me enough to, once season 2 starts, I'll watch the first episode or 2, and if it goes all woke and stupid, I'll just forget about it. Yeah. But I definitely recommend it. It's worth a watch. It's the best X-Men for a while.
Speaking of the best X-Men and the best the best of all time, Jamie, you've been playing Dragon's Dogma. How are you going with that?
I haven't played it in 2 weeks. Today I had a good sesh. It's finally kicked up. I have a lot of questions though. Clearly, inflation has hit the Dragon's Dogma world because
everything is so expensive.
No, it's not just that. You find a random peasant and they're like, "Can you help me get back to town?" And you get them back to town. They're going like, "Here's 2,000 gold." And I'm going, "Where did you get
2,000 gold
from?"
But you need that 2,000 gold when you go into the store and go, "Here's a hat, 14,000." It's like,
oh, good.
Here's a place to rent.
Glad Dragon Dogma's. I'm glad it's copying the real world.
I know.
Because our real world is completely fucked. So that's good. You should have to pay inflation in the games too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I bought armor for my Mystic Spear hand, and it was like I had like $43,000. I was like going, I'm going to quit my meme and my pawn, and eventually just bought myself armor, and that was all of it. I was like going, all right, pawn. Sorry,
you can be naked. It's fine.
It's a little weird because it has randomized pawn designs, and then you got the lion species and that, but they just randomly give it like an afro, and it just looks so wrong. It's just because it's all just auto generated, and you go like, because I always go for the pawn that it's kind of a cool looking pawn. Like that's
you have to have a good looking pawn.
And then you go there, and then you go like, "Geez, you got crap stats and all that." And then you go to the one that looks funky, and it's just like uber powerful. But it's
And I like that they have a nice hub to go to your pawn. Like it's really great that you can go to a nice pawn hub where you can get your pawn.
I was going to say, is that a pawn hub?
Wow.
I know. Look, I'm a dad now. I'm allowed to make these jokes. These jokes are completely.
Well, now that Chris has brought it up, maybe we should mention our sponsor, Pornhub.
No. Our sponsor. Do you like porn but don't want to view it but want to read it? Then Rebecca Cassells' Rising Dawn series, available on Amazon, is the book for you. There you go. See, Jamie?
Chris, you probably haven't realised we actually picked up another sponsor. So
what's the other one?
Martin Kearns.
Martin Kearns. What does he do again?
Clearly, if someone doesn't listen to the podcast,
he runs a website called Pornhub.
Excellent.
out of New York, upstate New York.
Oh, did I talk to that guy?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Oh, Martin. Martin.
Ad Jamie. That's the ad Jamie. Sponsored by Martin Kern. You not talk to that guy?
Yeah. Well, again, Martin, I do apologize because you, like all the fine men in the world, believe that Elisa Marza had awoken had awoken you when you were young, and so I respect a man who admits that Elisa Maza is the perfect woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the name of his series of books, Chris? Give him a plug.
Yeah,
I remember him mentioning it at some point.
the ad will play. The ad will play. There's two ads.
All I remember is he has a fine taste of women.
It's the Valor of Valhalla series.
Yes, go check that out. And also, message Martin Kearns about his top 5 cartoon women. I think he'd be surprised by the list.
Well, okay, Chris. I think that we'll have to ask him all that when he comes back on next time.
Top 5 cartoon women. Come on.
Top 5 cartoon women.
Jamie, top 5 cartoon women.
I don't know. Oh, just have to think about it. Well, definitely, I can't do order. I don't know what order.
No, just 5, no order. Fine.
Okay, Elisa Maza.
Obviously.
Like, just because we just talked about her.
Yep.
April O'Neil.
Oh, yes. Now, which version?
2003.
2000. Oh, that's a good one.
Like, proper redhead. Like, anime redhead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say, Rogue. You gotta go Rogue.
We're gonna Rogue, of course.
I'm not singing this to, make think. I got another 2 to go. Okay. Mary Jane Watson.
Oh, yes. Any of the iterations are all good in the Mary Janes. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what do I do for the final? What do I do for the final cartoon woman? No, I was leaning towards the redhead from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit, of course. Come on.
No, but that's too.
I mean, she's on everyone's list.
Yeah, I think.
Ryan, what is your list of 5 cartoon men? Top 5. No in particular order.
Probably number 1 would be. I'm just trying to think of what era. I'm going to say Batman the Animated Series era Batman because that's Kevin Conroy.
Of course.
Conroy.
I'm going to go Peter Parker from the Spider-Man cartoon we all grew up on, the one with like 6 seasons.
The animated series.
Just because he was a good representation of Peter Parker. So
and age appropriate. Love it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't go past Wolverine from Wolverine and the X-Men.
Wolverine. Oh, yes. Muscular. Taut. Excellent.
I've actually got a limited edition copy I got from a friend of that one first season, which is actually in a Wolverine mask, which is pretty cool. I'm looking at it right now, so that's pretty cool. I would also say, oh god, this is a hard one because I wasn't really thinking. I don't get attracted by cartoons, so
well, that's a lie.
I'm going to go Scott Summers from original X-Men because he's leader, he's powerful, he's knows what he's doing. So that's 4. And I'm going to go. I'll have to go. Jason Todd, voiced by Jensen Ackles in Under the Red Hood.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It's good. It's
from that one line, when they've got Joker in there, and he's like, he goes. I understand why you didn't kill him, but why didn't? I had something like that, like. Well, I understand why, but why is he still here or some shit like that? But I'm on a lot of pain meds at the moment. I'll get the exact quote. But yeah, he would be another number 5. So yeah.
Okay, Chris, I'm going to trade in my Jessica Rabbit for Princess Jasmine.
Oh, you got to go Princess Jasmine. Now,
that's cool.
That's it. Yeah.
I'll give you my list, and there might be a theme. I don't think there's a theme. Hang on, we'll see.
Elisa Maza.
Sorry.
Pocahontas.
Elisa Maza. Pocahontas. Correct.
Yes.
Princess Jasmine. Okay, there's a bit of a theme in that list. Let's try to break the theme up a little bit.
Okay, who's the whitest character you can think of?
I'm just trying to think of the white one. Actually, no, I'm going to go down the theme a bit. An obscure one, Nefertiti from the Mummies Alive cartoon series.
Oh, okay.
Now, yes, she pretty much fits the first 4 identically. Shut up, that's not the point. And then finally, I do have to pick a white one. Shit.
Jessica Rabbit.
No. Rapunzel from Tangled.
Oh, just 18, so you're lucky. Yeah, no, you know what? That was a magical movie.
Magical film.
There, that's so you went to CGI, and that's a whole new ballpark.
Cartoon yeah, I get you.
I know. No, it's same banner.
So, whilst we know that, Ryan lies and says he's not attracted to cartoons, again, that's fine. Ryan's allowed to lie. Jamie, do you have any topics you want to bring up?
I got plenty of topics, but I want to tell you about two things that I've been watching.
Excellent.
One I literally finished watching about half an hour ago.
Mhm.
But the first one, there's a show on Netflix called Lupin, or it's French. It's called Lupin.
Lupin.
I'm pretty sure you could watch it in French if you wanted to, but it's English dubbed.
That's better because hearing the French talk is annoying.
Well, you kind of forget it's French until they go get a text message and then it's in French. So,
Alors, yes, oui, Rayon.
yeah. But seriously, the best thing to come out of France since Les Mis. Like, the writing is so flippin' good.
I thought the best representation of France was Taken.
Taken. But that's a guy who goes to France, isn't it? I mean, you could say the thing about John Wick 4. He goes to, and there's a lot, yeah. Look, no, Lupin, he's like
It's in 3 parts, I believe.
Yes.
You're talking about...
Yeah, I just finished watching season 3. Season 4's on the way.
Okay.
So he's
I'm
like
looking at a trailer for it right now as we talk.
It's phenomenal, and that trailer probably won't even do it justice. So he's basically a kid. His dad was a driver for this rich guy, and the rich guy wanted to claim money on something, so he faked a robbery and then blamed it on him, and then killed him, had him killed, sort of thing.
Okay.
So this, it's almost like a revenge story, but this kid just grew up reading these novels called Lupin.
Lupin.
Which was like a gentleman burglar kind of guy, and so he's got a plan. Every plan has a plan, and then another plan behind the other plan, and it's just like, and it does the whole cliche, in Ocean's 11. I think it's one of those movies where it gets to a point and they run you all the way back, and they go, "This is what happened." Yeah. There's a lot of that.
So they do the heist thing in every heist movie.
Yeah, he does, but it goes a lot deeper than that.
The Guy Ritchie. They do the Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, but I just, maybe it's because there's so much rubbish on television, but this thing, it's just like this. It's annoying. There's only 5 episodes per season. Season 3 has 7 episodes, but
so it's a British television show.
Well, it's French. They obviously didn't have a budget, and then they can tell that now they've gotten a budget. Because there's cool car chases and lots. It's just. You just got to watch it. That's all I got to say. You just got to watch it. It's brilliantly executed.
Okay. Sounds good.
He's kind of like I'd say Reacher, but with less violence. I mean, there's still violence, but Reacher's like just this tank. And Lupin's not. He's tall, but he's very nice. Yeah. So that's one thing I watched. The other thing I just literally watched. New Jerry Seinfeld's new movie on Netflix called Unfrosted.
Is that any good?
It is brilliant. It's satire. It's 2 rival breakfast cereal companies in the 60s basically creating the very first Pop-Tart.
Oh my god.
But it's got everyone is in it. It's got the X-Men, Short Scott from first X-Men, James
Marsden.
Yep. He's
terrible,
in it.
Terrible Cyclops. Yes.
Yeah. He's in it. Bill Burr is in it as JFK.
The hell?
What's his name? The little dude. Literally.
Peter Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage is the head of the they've got the milk mafia, they call it it's big milk. And
what's it called? Unfrosted.
Unfrosted. It is ridiculously funny. It is so well written. It's Jerry Seinfeld. So he wrote it and directed it. Jim Gaffigan is the head of Kellogg's. Schmitty from New Girl. I swear that guy doesn't age. But yeah, it's just like, it is so quirky, hilariously funny. Kind of.
I don't know if I can watch it.
Yeah, dude, she's not that painful.
Who's in it?
Amy Schumer.
Ugh.
Yeah, but it's like, how when you watch Parks and Rec, you don't watch it for Leslie Knope, even though she's there.
Yeah.
So the supporting cast just takes all the focus off her.
Okay.
But
added it to my list go.
It's worth watching. It is ridiculously funny. Yeah, there's a lot of satire in it, and
Well, it's because I haven't seen it. Everything lately I've been watching on Netflix has been rubbish. Like the other night, I tried to watch the roast of Tom Brady, and I went into it. Like, yeah, this is gonna. And as I said, my comment was all the white football players that were roasting him were drunk, so they weren't making sense, and all the black football players and black actors they got were all stoned, and it was a car crash. Like none of that. You could tell none of them wanted to be there. They were just there for the money. Kevin Hart hosted it. He was off his face before it even began. It was and they wanted me to stay watching it for 3 hours. Netflix, and this is a Netflix production too. It's not just a show.
That's a long. That's a long.
I turned it off after 37 minutes, and that was being. As Chris predicted, there was a lot of jokes about his wife and a karate instructor. Kevin Hart made a joke saying she's taken 8 classes a day and she was still only a white belt. There's something going on there, Tom.
Oh, wow.
You know,
yeah. No, well, there's my Netflix recommendations. Lupin, Unfrosted, and apparently there's a movie I'm going to check out at some point. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, called Operation Mincemeat or something. And it's based on a true story. It's basically what inspired Ian Fleming to write James Bond.
Okay.
So that looks interesting. Can't say if it's
well,
good
I've
or
added
bad yet.
those things to my Netflix list, so I'll check them out in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds interesting. Good or bad, it sounds like it'd be interesting for sure.
Yeah. I do have a few mysteries I need you to solve, Chris, but before that, what have you been entertaining yourself with?
What have I been?
What have you been entertaining yourself with?
What have I been entertaining myself with? Well, it won't surprise you what I've been entertaining myself with. I have, when I was away on my voyage of
Discovery and removal of vital organs.
Or as we said the other week, the removal of dark essence that tries to take over your body once a year. You needed to go to hospital to get it removed.
Indeed. Once I have returned, I realized I had a massive backlog of every single television show that I haven't watched. So I went through a giant binge of television. Now, some of it good. Let's talk. Some of it super fucking weird. Let's talk about the super fucking weird, and let's combine some of my 2 favorite topics: anime and incest. And I watched this a series. I can't remember. I'm not gonna bother looking up the name because you won't even bother. It is about a doctor who's obsessed with I think she's like a 16-year-old pop star, and then gets killed one night.
Is it French?
No, he gets killed by a fan of her because she's pregnant, obviously, and that's not meant to be. That's against the pop star rules. But she decides to keep the babies. They're twins. He gets killed, and the reason why he likes the band, likes her, is because like a 10-year-old cancer patient that he was looking after like years ago died, and she was a fan, so he became a fan because of her. They both get reincarnated as their twins, and then they brotherly sister, but they're getting awfully close. It's the weirdest.
Are you sure this wasn't a dream?
No, it wasn't. It was an actual, honest to God anime, and it was fantastic. It was awesome. And then I watched a whole bunch of other weird one called Real Girl, and that one's literally just like basically like the anime the manga writer was obviously like just fulfilling a fantasy of like going nerd guy, popular girl in school. All of a sudden, she's super interested in him, and then they start a relationship. And because he's such a fumbling idiot, he keeps doing the wrong thing, and she keeps saying, "Hey, it's okay, it's fine, like it's all good." I'm going like, who hurt you, manga writer? who did things?
Well, here's a question about anime. Like, do they go through a vetting process like they do in the West, or do they just go, "Nope, here it is"?
Oh no! See, that's the best part about most of that. That's why I love manga, and which turns into anime, obviously, because they can't come up with their own ideas.
No censorship or anything. Just
basically, one guy creates something, he then sends it in if the magazine wants to publish it or the student wants to publish it, they will. But even if he doesn't, often they'll just go online and put it online and go, here, read it. One of the greatest ones which I've watched, and then I watched and then went back and read the entire thing in like a couple of nights. Was Solo Leveling. I know you might have heard about it. It's essentially monsters open dungeons in the world, and they start pouring out into our world. And then because of that, people start getting powers, and they become hunters. And they start basically going to dungeon crawls and get loot and fight monsters. It's awesome. But then this one guy gets born with a very low hunter level, and then obviously it's an anime. You know what's gonna fucking happen. He's gonna become the most powerful of all time. It's fantastic, and it's written by Korean. It's actually a Korean one, and that was just a webtoon. That was basically like a guy, like they read a webtoon, and it became the most popular fucking thing in the universe. And that's why I like it, is because the vision is not a team of writers going like, this should be this should be that. It's like going, one guy who's like,
one guy's vision.
This is my vision. This is what we're writing. And he will hire like assistants to do some of the drawing for him.
Yep.
But the writing is all that one person who goes, this is the vision. Yeah. And often that's the best. And often that's why the media is still sound.
Yeah. There should never be any more than 2 people working on it.
Yeah.
When it comes to writing.
Because obviously when the release schedule where the companies want them to release monthly. And it's not just like, it's not an American monthly where it's like going, release a month. 7 pages into a single comic book.
Yeah.
No, it's like release a month. I want 150 pages in a chapter.
Wow.
So it's a different pressure, which is why they often hire additional artists.
Yeah.
But there's one man's vision.
Yeah. Draw this.
Yeah. And honestly, and that's why, and it's really funny. That's why it's become so mainstream. Like even now, like. I've talked to people at work who I've never thought you never think would be an anime person, but they just talk about like, oh yeah, I'm into this series, because every other media sucks. Like, and every other media is like, and the good thing about anime is it's so broad. Do you want hero fantasy? Cool. You want mechs? Here's that. If you want high school drama and romance and slice of life stories about volleyball players and joining a pop band or doing anything, there is something for everyone within inside of the genre. And that's why when you see like people say like, oh, the comic book industry is fine, look at the sales, and you go, how much of those sales is manga? And they go, shut up, don't ask us that. Don't ask us that. Because you look at the sales of like the top selling things, it's all manga. It is 100% all manga. And even now, so people have discovered, wait, I like manga, but it's not in color. That's annoying. Wait, Koreans write manga too, but they release it online and in color, and they design the scrolling to fit on your phone, so it's a vertical scrolling. It's like going, oh my god, and it's all in digital art. It's awesome. Anyway,
but for the record, they prefer that you scroll on your Samsung.
They're Koreans. You better scroll. You better scroll on a goddamn Samsung, or else you're like again. There was a rumor that Song Hyun Min used an iPhone. And the country was almost like saying, should we revoke your citizenship? Should we what's you've got to use that?
Do you think now hear me out. Do you think there are Koreans in Korea? Yeah, do you think there are Koreans in Korea? No. That's my dad joke. Do you think there's Koreans in Korea that have created like a phone case that sits over an iPhone to make it look like the Samsung?
No. People use iPhones in Korea. It's just not as common. Like, it's just not as common. This is like, I'll use an iPhone.
There's one man running around Korea going, I need an iPhone charger. I need an iPhone charger.
Oh no! If you run around Korea needing an iPhone charger, you're a dead man. Like you're.
I was going to say, if you yell that out running down the streets of Korea or any Asian country, you get shot on sight.
Yeah.
But anyway, but apart from that, I was also checking out. I was a little bit behind, but I started watching Jack Reacher season 2.
Oh, what do you think?
Excellent, but my God, is that guy massive? Like,
how good? I'm sorry. How good was the opening at the ATM?
Magical.
Just that whole scene was just
like
every single again, this is why I find that story this season somewhat not as believable as the other seasons. I'm going, how come every problem can't be solved with you just punching it? You just because like my God, that dude is massive. Like look at what is that? They feeding that guy? Like, jeez. I remember you in Blue Mountain State, and I remember you in Smallville. You were not that size. You were nowhere near that size.
They bulked up.
Oh, it wasn't. But that's still a really cool show. Again, one of my favorite. Like it's really good. And I've enjoyed that thoroughly. I think I'm about halfway through, so I'm still, the first episode is great. Then it gets a bit slow with the second episode, where it's all like, here's the setup to the murder, which I get. There has to be like the setup episode. So, but having said that, it's still just as good. It's as good as season one.
Yeah,
which is saying something, because season one was
exceptional.
Was amazing.
And I will say, look, it's all worth the ending. It's just like the build up to it is just
yeah. It's got it's got a great build up, and obviously I think and it's obviously pays off with great dividends. And then I've watched about 10 or 6 or 7 anime series, which are all basically the same thing. And in the industry, they call this the seasonal isekai. What it means is, person in Japan dies, gets reincarnated in some way into a fantasy universe, then gets some random skill which he knows how to exploit, and becomes the most powerful creature on Earth.
Sounds like they're ripping off one of our ideas, Chris. Jeez.
I know, right?
Jeez, I know.
And there's and in all of these series, there's always like, the guy has a main character, has a girl sidekick who's completely in love with him. And it's blatantly obvious, and the main character is oblivious, like just good, like not just even a little bit oblivious, just like something. But even when he's aware, he gets super shy and nervous.
That's me as a teenager. Great.
Yeah, but there's one show I will mention by name, and it's actually on Disney Plus. So Ryan, I think you should actually check it out. And it's called Loser Ranger. And let me tell you about this show. Okay, so it's basically Power Rangers, right? Oh. But the idea is, what happens if the Power Rangers were dicks? It's fantastic. So the alien ship comes down to invade Earth, right? They find the 5 Rangers find the artifact weapons and turn into their version of the Power Rangers: blue, gold, yellow. Then they go up, but they actually kill all the bosses, and they realize, oh wait, that means we're done. So they find all the henchmen who are still, and they're called dustmen, and they go, okay, every single Sunday, you're going to invade Earth, and we're going to beat the shit out of you, and then that's going to happen. And it's happened for 12 years on this thing, where they have to, and in one episode, they're sitting on the drawing boards going, what kind of monster are we going to craft? Oh, but they're dragon warriors. Should we what's the dragon's greatest rival? A tiger. So they create this tiger monster to go down to Earth to lose. And the whole thing is basically this constant losing cycle because they can't die.
And surely nothing goes wrong.
Yes, and so the whole idea is this: one of the dustmen gets fed up and then tries to joins the ranger, sneaks into the ranger organization and tries to become a ranger himself, so he can destroy it from within.
Okay, I'm going to check that out for sure.
No, if you love Power Rangers, if you love that whole thing, it's let me think, it's called Loser Ranger. What's it called? Yeah, I think it's Loser Ranger.
And you said that was definitely on Disney Plus?
It's on Disney Plus.
Because I noticed they just added this anime section to
it's called Go Loser Ranger, and it's
Go Loser Ranger.
Exactly. And it is as awesome and hilarious as you think it's going to be.
Nice.
And it just plays fun of the entire genre of Power Rangers, of Super Sentai, but it does it in such a awesome way. And actually, it's got a really interesting story because the monsters for 12 years have basically been coming they've been coming down to Earth and get their shit kicked out of them, and they just so they can go back up, just so they can go back to their because it's a show. They actually invade in a stadium. People are watching. There's huge crowds and fans. There's merchant. And it's all they care. All the Rangers care about is their merchandise sales and their advertisement deals. It's basically The Boys, but for Power Rangers.
Nice. Now I'm definitely going to check that out after I finish X-Men for sure.
It's excellent. Jamie won't like it because it's in Japanese. And Jamie doesn't like to read.
No, I can't keep up with the
subtitles and looking. It's a skill.
Look, the perfect way to do it is if they do it more show than tell. You know what I mean? Because I thoroughly loved the latest Musketeers, which was half French, half English. The English people spoke English and the French people spoke in French. And so it was half subtitled. And there was a lot of action and a lot of long scenes before anything speaking happened, should I say. So I can handle a little bit of subtitle. Okay. Moderation, mate, in moderation.
You get used to it. The more that you watch with subtitles, the more easier you find your brain will just read them.
Yeah, and the faster you read them as well, as you get used to it.
Yeah. I never used to like it when I first started using it, but then I was finding that a lot of the anime that I wanted, there was no English dubs straight away. So it was either watch it with the Japanese subtitles or, wait 2 or 3 years for the English dubs to come out.
Yeah.
So I just learned.
And the dubbing of the show takes a lot of skill. I'll say that. Because what they have to do is they have to translate the language from English to Japanese. Then they have to do what they call a flap count, which is how often does the character's mouth move during the scene.
Yes.
And then they have to then go, okay, but that sentence doesn't fit in the 6 flap mouths that they did. So how do I change that sentence into 6 words? And then they have to basically change the sentence to 6 words. And then they have to go, because they're from California, how do I then insert my intersectional politics into this and change what the Japanese meanings mean? And that's why Japan is actually moving towards artificial intelligence to now do their dubbing and their scripting, because they're sick of the West inserting their bullshit into into their anime. Anyway, separate story. Jamie, you have topics.
I do. We actually have a correcting IGN because one just dropped the other day, which I'm going, what perfect timing? But before that, I'm going to send you guys a photo because let's just say this. China has done it again. I'll give you the headline and then I'll send you the pic, all right? Mm-hmm. Zoo goers outraged to discover Panda exhibit was actually dogs dyed black and white. Here are the dogs.
Oh my God.
Who would actually think that that's a...
Can I just say something, Jamie?
Yes.
Obviously, I'm a massive Panda fan, so I follow a lot of, different panda enclosures in China and Korea and stuff like that, just all that kind of thing. Yeah. This actually happened, but the dogs aren't dyed. That's an actual breed of a dog called a Chow Chow that were bred that way with those colorings. So,
okay.
Yeah, but they still did that. They still tried to pass them off as pandas, which is fucking insane. But yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and that was like the whole incident. Was it like they were convinced that this guy was in a bear suit or something? It was
the sun bear. They thought he was a dude in a suit.
Yeah, they were convinced. Look at the stretch marks. And you also, after this, I mean, you wouldn't put it past them.
But Jamie, you're missing the point of the action. You see, they're wrong. Okay, here's what happened. What they are seeing is love. One day, there was a dog who their parents took their dog to the zoo because they're good parents. They don't want to leave it at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
The dog was walking on a leash, and then the dog's obviously female, and a male panda. They're trying to get him to mate with other pandas, but he doesn't feel a connection to those pandas. But then he sees this dog walking past his pen and goes, "My God, that is the most beautiful creature in the history of the universe." Now, he knows he has to escape this, but how does he do that? Well, he convinces one of the zookeepers to come down to give him some food. He punches that zookeeper straight in the face, puts on his hat and his zookeeper shirt. Now, automatically, people are dumb, so they assume that this giant panda is now the zookeeper. He walks out casually, waving to some people, got his little badge, scans out of the enclosure, exits, and then spends the next 6 years chasing after this dog. Now, when he eventually finds his dog, he was standing under the window of the house, throwing bamboo sticks at the window. And he then, as the dog comes down and looks at him, he says, I've been searching 6 years to find you. And the dog looks down at him and goes, I have been waiting all my life for this moment. Huge romance. But there's a problem. One's a panda, one's a dog. Thankfully, the owner is a disbarred scientist from UCLA who's now living in China. And he's been doing experiments on animal DNA. So he goes, do you love her? What are you willing to give up? And he looks down in the anime style, then slowly looks up, everything. So he gets transformed into a dog. And that's how they're together. The zoo finally figures out that that panda that walked out of the zoo was not, in fact, was not a zookeeper, but a panda wearing a hat and t-shirt and with badge swiping. So they send the Chinese government with all their tanks and military after this panda. They throw both the panda and the dog into the cell, and then they realize, wait, that's just two dogs. And that's what that picture is. When they finally realized, that's just two dogs. What happened?
I give up. People depend on us for true and accurate news, and you've gone and just fucked that all up.
No, I don't know. It sounded pretty accurate to me. And what really, really made it believable is that the panda walked out of there with so much confidence that people believed it couldn't be a panda because they've never seen a panda that motivated.
Again, Jamie, he had a shirt and a hat on. Come on.
No. But he also had the confidence.
The confidence
of anything but a panda.
Oh, yeah. You don't see a panda with that kind of je ne sais quoi, as the French would say.
If our listeners want to contest the truth of this, if they want to, challenge us on it, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com.
Challenge it. You guys need Jesus, seriously.
Okay. I just told you the greatest love story of all China, and you're saying it's fake? Well, okay,
well, young Ryan, you can either listen to the project or you can listen to us.
I listen to the project every week. No, I don't. I don't watch any news at all because I just want to be ignorant.
Well, that's probably the safest way to be. All right, are you ready for the next? Correcting IGN.
I am.
This one dropped the other day. Are you ready to moan? Get your moaning voices ready for fellas, because this is the 25 best sci-fi movies of all time. All right. Are you ready? Are you getting into character? Are you loosening up the number 20?
I have a
number 25, Galaxy Quest.
Should be higher. Should be higher.
Top 5.
Top 5 easily.
You've got Tim Allen. You've got Alan Rickman, Sigourney Weaver in the best movie she's done since Alien. Come on,
that
man.
was a top flight film.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why this one's on here, but Wall-E.
Wall-E. Isn't that
Disney Pixar one?
Okay. Yeah.
I like the first 20 minutes.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's like seriously, it should have been and probably started out as a 5-10 minute short. I went, let's turn this into a movie because the opening is pretty cool.
Nothing about any of the trailers or anything I've heard about it has made me want to watch it. So I can't really comment.
You're not missing much. Mm-hmm. Next one is Ex Machina. I hope I pronounced that right.
Ex Machina. That could you consider that sci-fi, Chris?
No. Well,
it's no.
How's that? It's artificial intelligence. Is that not science fiction? Like what's the parameters of science fiction?
I wouldn't.
Well, basically, AI creates a robot.
Yeah, well, that's science fiction.
It creates the AI. And then obviously it does the
AI
Turing test. It does the Turing test with the CEO.
And then she eventually over and kills him.
Yeah. Okay. Look,
I classify it as science fiction.
Science. Okay, I'd say it's to me that was more of a thriller than a psychological.
Yeah, but
thriller.
it fits into the this sub. It's not like it.
Having said that, I would not put that on the list.
No,
it's a good film. Don't get me wrong, good film.
Yeah, but there's so many more good sci-fi films.
Yeah,
correct.
Necris's favorite, Inception.
No, that's not even sci. Okay, no, come on. Like that's not sci-fi. Like,
are they just looking? IGN just like going, oh yeah, we're going to put this in. Just put this in. We're like,
no, we all know they do their top 10 and then they do filler. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
No, that's not sci-fi.
That's
That's
not sci-fi.
multiverses.
Yeah, look, again, that's a bit. Yeah, no, I have to agree with Ryan on that one. Not sci-fi.
Okay.
I don't,
1987 RoboCop.
How is RoboCop sci-fi?
Also, I just think science fiction is anything involving science.
But it's not
Really?
even science fiction. It's just
Well, it's
no.
fine. I find robots science fiction. I don't know.
So, in your opinion, then Justice League would be science fiction because it's got Cyborg in it.
Well, technically, you could.
see.
No.
RoboCop's like the cyberpunk genre, but it's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If
I would not
anything, it's
call
more-
cyberpunk sci-fi. That's two different genres completely.
Yeah. Okay, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Is that science fiction? Is time travel and a scientist with a crazy scientific hat not science fiction?
No, it's not.
I don't
Okay,
think.
then what would you, okay, from this point on, what do you classify? What is your umbrella term for science fiction?
Space.
Well, isn't that like just a space movie?
Final Frontier. Now, that was meant to be a joke because Steph's been watching a lot of Next Gen lately and I've got it stuck in my...
Yeah.
No, I'm being brutally honest. In my opinion, science fiction, primarily space, or as Chris said, the offshoot of cyberpunk science fiction.
Yep.
Which I would consider Ex Machina in cyberpunk science fiction as well. RoboCop.
Yeah. But
Now, keep in mind, this is just my opinion.
look, sci-fi. Look, sci-fi is a broad term. But when people talk about sci-fi movies, they generally are referring to a few films that are of existence. They're referring to Star Trek, Star Wars,
Yep.
obviously, and then they're referring to movies like that. From the 80s and things. They're referring to like what's that Arnold Schwarzenegger one? Shit, Total Recall. Generally speaking, they're referring to those kinds of movies. You could argue it, yeah, but just because you go back in time, I don't think doesn't classify your science fiction.
I don't mind you guys calling me out and saying that I'm wrong. I have no issue with
No,
that at all.
I'm agreeing with you, Ryan, on this one. I think
This is the definition as per the dictionary. Fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances and major social or environmental changes, frequently portraying space or time travel and life on other planets.
space.
Now, see, that's one thing in there. It also said technological advances, environmental changes. So I think it's futuristic, really.
Futuristic. Look,
But isn't the whole thing about the future not to make any changes?
now, Jamie, I would argue, I would put Back to the Future 2 into the sci-fi genre.
Yes, because it's
One adventure movie. 2, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one, Jamie?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yep, that's sci-fi.
Yes. And it was a revolutionary movie for its time too. I've seen that
The original, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah, see, that is sci-fi.
Yes.
All right. Now,
All these things are common.
Terminator 2.
Yes, sci-fi. Because again, futuristic world, going back in time, trying to change the future.
Yeah.
Sci-fi.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1956. Now here we go. Star Trek 2.
Obviously.
The Wrath of Khan.
You didn't even have to say.
That should be higher. That should be higher,
Yes.
but again, I'm not going to...
But that is an amazing Star Trek movie of all time.
Yeah, it should be higher.
Okay, the next one I've already groaned at. I don't even know if I want to read it out. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I don't know why that's on there.
What is that?
It's like a romantic. I don't know.
I reckon they're on better drugs than what I'm on at the moment.
Oh yeah, the fuck is that? Okay, move on to the next one.
E.T.
Yeah, obviously, but at 12, really? Okay, but you know what? The top 10 better be fucking outstanding. Like,
Well,
okay.
we'll see. But fun fact: did you know that the original script for E.T. was actually Poltergeist, and then they just changed scripts?
Huh.
So it was more so about an alien haunting a family. And
then they went in a very classical home. Yeah.
So if you watch the original Poltergeist and imagine that as an alien, that's what E.T. was going to be.
Okay.
Number 11 is Aliens.
Okay, so the best movie they put it up. Okay,
But in my opinion, the best Aliens movie, so that should be higher up.
that should be way. Oh my, like that's the best one.
That's the
Anyway.
second one, yeah?
Yep.
They're doing a lot of 1950s, so the Forbidden Planet. I've never seen it.
Never seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it sounds it Forbidden Planet.
Now the next movie I respect, I'd say it's more horror, because it is Keith David's first ever film, The Thing.
That's not sci-fi.
And look, it is more horror because I've seen the original and the remake. But in its defense, it is an alien parasite that is trapped in frozen. So technically, I can see I can see where they've gone with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an alien parasite, but definitely is it John Carpenter? It's definitely more horror.
Yep.
Yeah. Planet of the Apes, 1968.
Not the Marky Mark version.
Not the Marky Mark version. No, Metropolis, 1927.
Okay, that looks weird.
Really weird. They are. Okay, now we're creeping in. Empire Strikes Back for number 6.
Yep.
Interesting.
It is definitely top 10, wouldn't you say? Or would you say top 5?
Okay.
A lot of people put down Empire Strikes Back as their favorite Star Wars movie.
A lot of the older generation do. Yes.
Yeah. And they're not fun enough to realize the correct answer is Return of the Jedi.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yes. Well, yes, definitely. Matrix.
Above Empire Strikes Back.
I know. See, that's a little.
The fuck is wrong with you people?
Look, if we really, really try, we can fit it into cyberpunk sci-fi.
It's cyberpunk. It's cyberpunk down to the fucking core.
Yeah, but
anyway.
no, I would say it is definitely science fiction. I 100% is.
Okay.
It fits the parameters.
It fits the parameters.
However,
I'll
it is
give you
way
that
too high. Now number 4 is Alien, the first one.
Good film. Yeah.
We're back to Star Wars with A New Hope.
What number are we at?
That's number 3.
Okay, so the film that created special effects.
Yeah, that
The
reinvented the genre.
Reinvented the genre. The film that said, hey, all spaceships battles look shit because they're on wires, and had some film students go, wait a minute, we just moved the camera around the fucking ship, not the other way around, and basically invented fucking space battles.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry, there's a movie that's not on this list that I will murder them for.
I'm calm.
But, okay,
I'm calm.
number 2 is Blade Runner.
That's a bit pretentious for my liking, and that's cyberpunk, so get fucked.
Yeah, well, that's first Blade Runner, and I'm sacrilege, but probably, I don't know, I didn't find it that interesting. And then coming at number 1, A Space Odyssey, 1968.
2001, A Space Odyssey.
Yep.
Then that, yes, I will agree. It shouldn't be number 1, but it should be top 5.
Yeah, but this is the most pretentious list of films.
I know, right?
This is basically, did they have some French berets lying around the office at the time they made this list, and they put them on and went, let us write a list of sci-fi films. Okay.
Man, where's Jurassic Park? Like, seriously. That's science. It's science fiction. You cannot defeat me on this one. Henry Wu didn't spend all of his years being a scientist and re-engineering and splicing.
Left Jurassic Park and then went on to become a psychologist on Law and Order.
And then he came back in Jurassic World to let his evil empire reign.
Jurassic Park is not science fiction.
I'm sorry, it is.
That's cool. We can agree to disagree, but I'm right.
No.
So it doesn't.
Is.
It's not. Like, it's not. To me, the only small element in that movie that would possibly make it sci-fi is the technological advancements, and that's pushing.
And that's what it fit. No, that covers the definition.
They're using existing technology to create something new, though. There's no real, like, all they're doing is reviving a dead species. They're not actually creating something new.
Yeah, they are. Dinosaurs in the 20th century.
It is
classified.
I respect your I'm just giving you why I believe it's not a sci-fi.
Go to the library, and you will find it in the science fiction section.
Well, I don't need to because I have both books on my iPad, and I filed it under action adventure, motherfucker.
Well, for a movie with only 12 minutes of dinosaurs,
Let me just say there's some.
Are you talking about Godzilla now?
There's some glaring omissions
Yes.
on this list. There's some huge problems with this. One, Star Wars should be number one. That's just.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's just.
Yeah,
That's not even. A New Hope is number one. That's not even a question. That's not even a question in the universe. It's number one, probably with ET at number two. I'll be honest. That's probably the order 1, 2. Anyway, the fact that Starship Troopers is not on this list is also a crime.
Yes.
Again.
I'm sorry, that's military. It's not science fiction.
And the fact that and where's the fuck is Fifth Element?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, where's the Fifth Element?
Like, the hell is wrong with this list?
It's written by IGN. That's what's wrong with this list.
I mean, I would even put Real Steel on this list.
Yes, there's rumors that the second one's coming soon-ish. When Hugh Jackman stops being busy.
That's not a good list of. That's just what. Okay.
No, that was IGN's worst effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
I can't even find the guy that wrote it.
I don't think you'll find him. He's gone into hiding after everyone's complained about it.
I hope so. And you know what? I've never wanted to wish death on anyone, but you know.
Well, maybe he can lose his job.
And look, as much as you would hate it,
He already has. He's working with IGN.
Yeah. As much as people would hate this, and as much as it irks me to say, unfortunately, the first Avatar film does deserve to be on this list. You don't make $3 billion not get on the list. I agree with you.
The technology was created for that film too, just like Star Wars.
Correct. I'm sorry, the technological advancents.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you need regardless of what you feel about a money grabbing Fern Gully, you got to be on that list.
That's right. It's all about the technological advancements, like bringing dinosaurs back to life. Just saying. And I have found out who wrote it.
Who?
IGN staff. They won't even put the name on it.
They won't even put your goddamn name on that list.
Witness protection.
Witness protection. Well, there you go. We ripped them apart.
Oh. Sorry, did Independence Day also not make this fucking list?
You're right.
Yeah.
Stargate, the first.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shit, this list is missing everything.
Yeah, that was horrible.
I reckon they just walked through someone's DVD collection and went,
I'd even put Robin Williams' Bicentennial Man higher on this list.
See, Ryan says no because it's about a single robot and that's it.
It's about...
No, I just don't think it falls into the sci-fi category.
Well, it is futuristic and it travels on how many generations of the family?
It goes through a lot of generations, but just because it goes through a lot of generations doesn't make it sci-fi.
Yeah, it's a robot. I mean, to me, and as per the definition, it says all it takes to be a science fiction is a technological advancement.
Yeah, but see, this is natural technology advancement over time.
Okay, yeah. Chris, please, next time you're at work, queue up a meeting with Elon Musk. He's not moving fast enough for it to be science.
Make more sci-fi stuff.
Anyway, no, we can agree to disagree. I'm just going off definitions that are written down and firmly planted in there. Now, guys, I want to give you at least 20 minutes to rant your hearts out
about
because of the new picture that came out from James Gunn.
Oh my god! Okay, look. Okay, all right.
You guys share your thoughts about new Superman, and then I will briefly share mine.
Okay. So let me be honest. The costume works in two ways, and there are two ways this costume works. Okay, and if it's not one of these two ways, I'm not seeing the film. I'll be completely honest. This is a deal breaker for me. Okay, the two ways this film works. One, people in this universe say a lot and smack them in the behind because it's set in the golden age or the golden era of comics. Then the costume makes complete logical sense. So if Gunn's universe is set in the Golden Age or Golden Era, or depends on what you want to call it, and we're not going, and it's the Justice League of America, then you know what? The costume makes sense. Like they did the cartoon series, the cartoon movies, the Tomorrowverse universe, where it was all set in that era. Having the trunks on the outside makes complete sense. I'm okay with it. Second thing that would make this costume acceptable is if his mum made the costume because of her age, she grew up in that era, so that's why she made it that way. Those are the two ways that costume is acceptable. No other. There is no other reason. Not again. If it's based in today's universe, right? So like now, as in like we've got phones and shit.
Yeah.
What kind of person goes, yes, underpants on the outside? There are two reasons you do that. One, because women have just learned how to vote, because it's the golden era. And two, someone from that era made your costume, and then we can get the iconic line, that's a cool costume, thanks, my mum made it for me, like we got in the greatest Superman series of all time, Superman and Lois, where, in that first shot, he was wearing that costume because his mother was born in the era where that was the strong man, that's the superhero, that's why she made it that way. But then when he got into his career, he obviously realized, I'm going to need to modernize it a little bit to make it look less stupid. Anyway, I love the actor. Apparently he's like 6'4", 6'5", so he's actually got the
and he has put the muscles on too.
Yeah, we got the height for it. But again, if this is his costume that his mother made, and that's why it looks a little shit, again, cool. If it's because we don't have good technology because it's the golden era, cool. That makes sense. But if this is going to be set in modern era with that sorry, that's just, no.
Okay.
No.
Chris, take a breather. Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Care to weigh in?
Yeah, look, Chris has said everything that I could think to say because it looks like the costume's made out of denim to me from looking at the picture, and I don't like it at all. It's not. I'm not a massive. I don't care if the trunks are on the outside or on the inside, but the costume just doesn't look right. I'm not getting Superman feelings from it. I just. Yeah.
Do you remember the first image we saw of Cavill where he was ripping open the safe door and you saw that was the first image you got of Cavill. And you look at the suit, it looked beautiful, looked perfect. You're like, oh, yes, that looks like Superman.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
As I said, this looks like a guy who's sitting down trying to decide on what pronouns he wants to use today.
We've got a lot of good memes out of it. I just will tell you that.
Oh, look, this is the most memeable thing in the universe, and some of the memes have been, again, the 9/11 meme was like, I don't mean cruel, but that was the good one.
We haven't had this kind of DC meme since Sad Batman.
True. Now, Jamie, to your point, I hope this was a test footage shot. To your point, that they're just putting out there saying, do people like it? And then they've now gone, oh, no, they don't. Okay, we will. That's fine. We won't use it.
Well, because at the same time, I do trust Gunn. He has rarely ever not delivered.
But in saying that, this seems to be the most pressure he's been under.
Yeah.
Like it's a power that he's been given. So
this is save a studio kind of movie. This is basically like.
This is you're rebooting a universe.
Yeah.
And if you fail, I don't think DC's got another shot left in it.
That's it. If this movie falls down, that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
Like there is no more DC.
This relaunch of this universe fails, I think Warner Brothers are going to say, "Look, you've had enough chances. We're going to give up."
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I actually see Warner Brothers being sold off because of this failure. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it at all. So let's just wait. Let's wait for a trailer, and then
you got to see it. You got to see it in I guess
the stills of Henry Cavill's costume looked beautiful.
Well, at the same time, I think it's the same thing with flipping Wolverine. If they recast Wolverine, you would have the same problem. It's too soon.
So Jamie, when they brought back the classic Wolverine costume, didn't they, in that trailer? Right? In in Deadpool and Wolverine. Classic costume, right?
Yeah.
You would say that's a classic costume.
Oh yeah, it's what we grew up
Where's the blue underwear on the outside then, wasn't it? You know why they didn't do that? Because the people who made that film have common sense and can understand what belongs in an era should stay in that era. And so they've updated it. They've kept the feelings, they've kept the themes, they've paid respect to the original costume, but they've also said, we also are trying to sell this to a modern audience. Here is the Wolverine costume, and you know what? It looks mwah. It's beautiful.
But you don't know if there's a scene where he wears it, and then Deadpool's like, "You really going to go out in that?" Or it could be anything.
I'm just saying.
And to be honest,
be
honest, I didn't notice. Look, Wolverine's undies in the original does not stand out like Superman's red trunks. Because Superman's red trunks are...
They're all like, again, I would imagine because it's X-Men 97, they're all still wearing the underpants on the outside kind of thing. Like, I'm remembering that.
Yeah, but like, I just don't remember that from that era. I've always remembered Superman because it's like, you can't not look.
Of course, yeah.
It's just like, hey, there you are.
And Wolverine is often always bending down with shadow, so it does sort of...
I'm just used to him sitting on a bed stroking a picture. That's all I remember, you know?
Yeah, I'm also just looking at like Rogue lying down in the butt, but that's a whole separate. That's a whole separate it's a whole separate thing. Okay, but look again.
Yeah,
I want this film to be good because I love Superman. Like again, like my heroes of film, Luke. Well, I was gonna say. Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker. Let me be very clear, and also season 2 of Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker. Okay, let's be clear where we draw the line there. And Superman.
Yeah.
Those are the heroes of my and so I want them to be good. We are so fortunate that we got such an incredible TV series as Superman and Lois.
Oh yeah,
that and and not to hark on it, the people who wrote that music score of Superman and Lois, they knew what they were fucking doing. Like they just knew they're going. We need stringed instruments. What to play? Don't just long strokes of that string instrument. Really bring up the feelings that when they wrote that score. And that first scene where nerdy Superman meets Lois, he's all like, "Oh, hello, Miss Lane." It's like going, "Oh, beautiful, perfect." So I'm going to compare that show to this movie because I think that show did it probably the best.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And if they don't come close to it, then it's a failure. Because if CW, tiny CW can do that, then I expect a lot from you, James Gunn.
That's it. And look, to be honest, I wouldn't mind it being set in the golden.
Oh no,
era.
golden era. That would be actually different and interesting because there's no smartphones. There's a phone booth. You can change in a phone booth again. There's a lot of interesting things you could do in the golden era storylines. So I'm all for that. If that's what the era is, great. Then Batman will also wear his. Wonder Woman will be wearing a knee-length dress because apparently that was the still the acceptable attire at the time, and all the costumes would look really weird. But again, that's if that's what they want to do.
Well, I would say it works for Watchmen.
No, it works for Watchmen. I agree, 100%. No, I agree.
Yeah, but that's because I didn't have this off-putting feeling like you guys first did because I just thought my head went to golden era. Like that's just.
Yeah, and again, and if it's set in that era, then I'm completely back on board again.
I love it when something looks like it's walked straight off the comic book pages. That's what I love. Like, and I mentioned this on our last episode or the episode before. Matt Ryan as Constantine walks straight off the pages.
Oh yeah, that's true. Again, we'll wait and see. But again, I'm I'm not filled with hope. Let's just say that. Oh. And what does the symbol on his chest stand for?
Super.
Oh. So, not filling me with a ton of hope. But I actually think he does look like Superman. Like, I mean,
and hey, the other thing is, it looks like he's in the change rooms, mate. He could just be trying on Superman suits.
Okay. The other thought I would say, yes, If this is a changing montage where he's trying on different costumes, again, acceptable. Those are the three scenarios. Golden Age, Mum made it, changing montage.
Oh, yes. Yes, watch this space. That's all I can say.
Yep.
Yeah, look, we'll just wait and see what happens when we get a trailer. Until then, I'm not really taking this picture on much merit.
No, look, honestly, if that was a costume, and now that the internet has reacted this way, if I was James Gunn, I would be fucking reshooting everything I've got that has the costume in it. Like I would be going.
It worked. It worked for Sonic the Hedgehog. So
yep, just go back and go like, hey, people didn't like that. Let's just go reshoot.
And you'd have more respect, and then your movie would be a hit.
Well, again, like I said, we do trust James Gunn, but he's never done a character like this before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, he's done an evil character.
No, he's done anti-heroes, but he's never done someone who's constantly holding himself back on purpose, who's trying to lead the way, show the way, trying to show the best example, and is constantly trying to realize when he's trying to fight crime, he's always holding back because he has to, because he doesn't want to punch a criminal and like shatter their entire spine. He's never dealt with this with this kind of character, so I'd be very curious to see how he handles, basically Luke Skywalker kind of character. Mm-hmm. Clearly, Hollywood studios struggle with this concept, so let's see how they work out.
Basically, Chris is saying to you, James Gunn, if you're listening, good luck.
Good luck.
All right. Any other thoughts? Any other things? Any other feelings? Nope.
Not really.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, guys, for listening. As always, check us out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com if you want to talk to us, complain about us, or just send Ryan the definition of science fiction, or send Chris some, I don't know, something better to watch than anime. I'm not thinking about any good insults.
There's nothing better than watching anime.
I don't know. He's tempting me with every
Remember. Hashtag send Ryan nudes.
Why not?
And any nudes. Doesn't matter. Just nudes.
Yeah. It can just be, you can write the word nudes on a bit of paper.
Any nudes. Or dick pics. Not pictures of dicks. Pictures of Dick Smith's electronic stores.
Dick Smith's.
Send him tons of dick pics.
Richard Dean Anderson.
Of any Dick. Dick Grayson, Richard Dean Anderson, Dick Tracy.
Actually, I think he would very much love Dick Grayson pictures.
Dick Grayson?
Yeah.
Yep. Remember, just flood the inbox with as many dick pics as you possibly can.
Yeah. Our Instagram story_podcast. I'm sorry, my brain's not working.
Add that with plenty of dick pics.
Yes. There you go. We've got a few interviews coming up. We've got some more comic book. Me and Ryan have started our Iron Man Demon in a Bottle series. That's really good. So expect more of that coming up. And let me leave you with this thought. If English isn't your first language, it must be easy to confuse Man of Steel with Iron Man.
Okay. Tag Jamie good jokes.
Hey, I'm just trying to fit in. Catch you next time, guys.
See you next time. No nudes, please.
Dick pics.
This podcast is brought to you by Martin Kearns and the Valor of Valhalla series. In the battle between two ancient evils, can one naive young man become the last hope against powerful creatures of legend? Beneath the Veil is the gripping first book in the Valor of Valhalla dark urban fantasy series. If you like reluctant heroes, infernal myths, and bloody epic clashes, then you'll love Martin Kearns' formidable foray into the unknown. So head on over to readkearns.com and grab yourself a copy of Beneath the Veil today.